don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. All right, I watched the movie Leap Year, and it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty straightforward because Lois Lane, and I don't know her real name. I don't care to learn her real name. So Lois Lane is in basically a loveless relationship. She's happy. It's basically a relationship of comfort. They get along. The only thing positive she can say about the person she's with is he's a cardiologist. That's it. That's the only thing she ever says about him. So it's obvious that she's basically on a trip to find what real love is. That's obvious from the get-go. And the one she happens to be in a relationship with is Ben. Again, I don't know the actor's name, and I don't think I'll ever will know the actor's name. He's Ben from Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec. Yeah, Ben from Parks and Rec is in a relationship with Lois Lane, and they've been in a relationship for 5 years, and he tells her he's got something special planned. They go to like the first restaurant they ever had a date in, and he gives her earrings when she was expecting a ring. And yeah, so she's basically hears about this, or her father tells her father, who's apparently a deadbeat, you know, the Trinity killer from Dexter. Again, I don't know his name, and I don't think I ever will, even though I have heard it probably like 14 times. I don't know the actor's name, but yeah. So he basically tells her that there's this myth. Your grandmother did this, went to ask her husband on leap year in Ireland, right? That's where she goes, Ireland. I don't know exactly where she went. I kind of went over my head. It's a fun movie. That's about it. So she went there. It's a tradition where on leap year you can ask the person you're with and you're guaranteed a happy relationship. But who wants to be in a relationship with someone who's too scared to commit to something? So in my mind, I'm already thinking, failure? He's a failure? And then, of course, the plane goes down that she's in. Not crash landing, but, well, technically every plane landing is a crash landing because there is no... Yeah, so she crash lands at an airport. She can't find a way to get to him. So she has to basically get a ride to the nearest town. She ends up at a pub where she meets like the most snobbish guy who's completely against relationships. You know, that old trope. And it's just fun. I mean, it's fun to always have that where he basically is growing attached to her but still can't stand her. And she's learning that he's actually a genuinely heartfelt person. But she can't say anything because she's in a committed relationship. And the whole thing basically teeters out because she finds out that Ben only proposed to Lois Lane because there was an apartment involved. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and of course it has that cliche where a question is asked, like if there was a fire in the building, what would be the first thing, and you had 60 seconds, what would you take? So she pulls the fire alarm, and in that moment, there was nothing she wanted to take. And I'm like, you pulled the fire alarm. It doesn't count. It only counts when you don't know what the emergency is. But Ben did just run and get his computer, get his phone. The last thing he looked up and saw his fiancée, Lois Lane, just standing there. And then he's like, hey, you want to grab anything valuable? It's just like, yeah. Of course, his afterthought was Lois Lane. He went straight for his technology, but it just... And in her mind, I mean, it doesn't make any sense because she pulled the fire alarm. So the fact that it's going off, it doesn't mean your 60 seconds were there. It only happens if you're not aware as to why the fire alarm is going off. So I didn't like that little aspect, even though they did try to line it all the way back to the beginning. I think it should have been some kind of accidental fire in a kitchen in some other apartment, which, yeah, happened to my brother's once before. Yeah, one of my brother's apartments, yeah, got vacated because his neighbor... a fire started, and basically the whole place. they were cooking something in that apartment. Yeah, cooking something, but not food. I think that's the story. Yeah. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but this movie was fun. It's very, very cliched, very on the nose, but there's something familiar about those films that are just... They're near and dear. You know the story a mile away. They're fun to watch. What are they going to do to make it unique? What are they going to change? What little aspect are they going to have? And it was a fun movie. I don't know the actor who played the Irishman. I don't know. I don't know him. I don't know what other characters he plays. I probably have seen him, but you know what? I don't care enough to find out. Yeah, but I enjoyed the movie. It was a fun movie. And sorry for all you people who are die-hard name-dropping actresses fans. I am not one of those people. I like characters they portray, but that's it. I am trying to learn more names, trust me, but that's, I don't know. It's not on my main priority. Yeah, so this movie is definitely worth a watch. The movie Leap Year. I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.